Okay, in the previous videos, I talked about power, and then I talked about the the three types of capital that we believe a family needs in order to actually have power, namely financial capital, intellectual capital, and social capital. You can check those videos out for detail. In addition to that, I have also written an article, the three types of capital. This S should not be there; should be capital. The three types of capital families need to succeed in business. One of the key points that I make in my videos and my content is the fact that once a family gets organized, how easy it becomes for the family to start improving their situation. Once the family is organized, I think the possibilities are endless as it pertains to the things that the family can do in order to improve its situation. And this is true in many different categories. Today, I want to use one example, a business example, in order to highlight this point. Okay, in order to do that, what I want to talk about is the acquisition of a business. Now, many people may have heard, know that they can start a business, but many people may not have heard, may not be aware of the fact that you can acquire a business. You don't always have to start a business from scratch. If you have the money, if you have the capital, if you have the know-how, you can go purchase a business that's already existing and then buy that business and then operate that business. So you don't always have to start from scratch. Oftentimes, people like to start from scratch because they don't really have much money, and they try to find businesses that it doesn't require much money to start. But if you are in a situation, especially if you're in an organized family that has pooled capital, then other things open up to you, and the acquisition of a business that already exists is one of those things. Okay, in order to highlight that, I just want to show an example. Like when you go online and you type in buy a business, you can see many different business brokers will pop up. This particular site sells online businesses. There are other sites that just sell other type of businesses. And as you can see, you can purchase businesses for all type of range. This business is on sale for $78 million, and they say it makes $59 million per year. If I scroll down, because I got these sorted by price, there's businesses for around about $10 million that you can purchase. And if I keep going, if I go, let's see, maybe here, you'll see here businesses for almost $5 million, basically $5 million. And if I keep searching, if I keep going, you will see that you can buy businesses for all type of prices. That you can find businesses that cost $100,000. You can find businesses that cost $500,000. And of course, like I've shown you here, you can find businesses that cost in the millions of dollars. The types of businesses that are available, there are a whole bunch of different types of businesses that are available. You can find businesses doing almost anything. This particular business, what's in front of us, this is a dry cleaning business for almost $5 million. This is a commercial equipment business for almost $5 million. I have some of these other tabs open. You can buy routes like FedEx routes, bread routes, Amazon routes. All of these things are for sale. So there are many different type of businesses that you can buy. You can buy plumbing. There will be grocery stores for sale, hotels for sale, whatever the case may be. So if many types of businesses are available, I'm going to pick one of these businesses to talk about in order to illustrate what I mean when a family can use its three capitals, financial, intellectual, and social capital, in order to go into business, and how it makes it easier to do so. So I've already opened one of these businesses as an example. This is a business in the personal care home niche. Long story short, the details really don't matter, but the point is this business is on sale for $1 million, about $1 million. If you look at some of the details here, this business is making $33,000 per month already. So if you were wondering why would a person buy a business for $1 million as opposed to starting a business, this is the reason why. If you buy a business that has already been established, the business is already making money. So if I'm gonna pay $1 million for a business, that business is already making money. So $33,000 monthly profit, and if I do the math, 33,000 times 12. Okay, for 396 was basically $400,000 per year. So this business is already making $400,000 per year, and that's the reason why somebody would pay $1 million for a business as opposed to trying to start one from scratch. Now, to talk about the three C's, let's talk about the three C's and see how this is possible for a family that has been organized. How can an organized family do things like this, purchase businesses like this, and run these businesses? Well, the first thing we look at is, and it's always the first question I ask, if we want to look into a business, do we have the power to make this business a success? And if you look at my video back that I made here about power, you'll understand specifically what I'm talking about when I say that. So when I ask, do we have the power to make a business business work, the questions that I'm really asking is, do we have enough financial capital in order to make the business work? Meaning, do we have enough money to buy the business and run the business? Do we have enough intellectual capital? Do we have the knowledge, skills, and ability to run this business? And do we have enough social capital? If there requires friendships, partnerships to be made, do we have the network to tap into in order to make this business a success? So I ask that question first and foremost. Do we have the power? Meaning, do we have the financial, intellectual, and social capital in order to make this business work? Okay, in order to answer those questions, then what do? I go to the inventory that I've been keeping for all of the different types of the family capital. So the first thing we say is, this business costs $1.1 million. Do we have $1.1 million to purchase this business? And not only do we need the 1.1 million to purchase the business, we also need a little bit more money still in the bank as working capital, as the money that we use to run the business before we get paid that first month. So we can't just have only $1 million to purchase the business. We also need a little extra money in order to have in the bank, just to be on the safe side before the money starts coming in at the end of the month. Okay, so first thing first is, do we have the financial capital? So if you look at my previous videos, you'll know that I went through this family consolidated budget, as well as the family statement of net worth. And if we go to the end of the family statement of net worth, then we'll see, like I said at the in my previous video, that the family collectively has a net worth of $5.3 million. Now, this $5.3 million is in different forms. Some of it is locked up in property. Some of it is actually in cash, though. So we have some in cash, like total cash here for 323. Some is in cash. Some is in investments for $1.4 million. So on and so forth. So, but the long story short, the money is there, but some of the other investments may have to be liquidated in order to raise the cash in order to purchase it. But the business costs 1.1 million. We have $5.3 million already, so we do have the financial capital to purchase the business. In addition to the 5.3 million, of course, I also went over this budget in the previous video, and we know that the family has an additional every year 2.4 million coming in. So we definitely have the financial capital to allow us to purchase this business. So the next question would be, do we have the intellectual capital to purchase this business? And what that means in a nutshell is, do we have family members that have the skill set required to run this business? Because as you see here, there will be some, this business is in a particular niche. This business needs someone will have to run the business. Like when we purchase the business, there may be a team intact, because sometimes when you purchase a business, it already has employees, depending on what type of business it is. But you will need at least the knowledge and skills to supervise the employees that are currently working for the business. But long story short, you need knowledge, you need skills to run a business even after you purchase it. So how do we determine whether or not the family has the knowledge and the skills to run this business? Then we go back to the family inventory that we have been keeping, and we take a look at the family intellectual capital. So here, if you watched the previous videos, this spreadsheet will be familiar to you. So not only do we keep inventory of the financial capital, we also keep inventory of the intellectual capital. And then here we keep inventory of the social capital. So right now, my question is, do we have the knowledge and skills available to run this business? The thing that the family would do is take a look at this list. Okay, what are the occupations of the current family members? Do we have people? Not only what is their occupations, what is their education in? Do we have people who have the requisite skills, abilities, education, and training to run a business, run this business once we purchase it? And once we have taken inventory of the family intellectual capital, in order to answer that question, it's pretty easy. We go down and say, yes, this is like, just for example, the businesses on this site are online businesses. As you can see, it says Amazon FBA. That's basically an online store. So we need people with the skills that are necessary to run an online store. So we take a look at the family and we'll say, okay, do we have people who have some kind of tech background? We have an IT manager here. We have a business analyst to help us analyze the business and maybe run the numbers and look at the numbers and make sure things are what they should be. What other people do we have? Yeah, a market researcher with a degree in marketing. That's also important. If you have an online business, you may need to do some online marketing. So long story short, I think you can understand the process of checking your intellectual capital, your inventory of intellectual capital, to make sure that the family has the knowledge and the skills. All you're doing is going down the list of family members and saying, do we have the people who can run this business? And if that's a go, then we keep moving. The next question I ask is, do we have the social capital that's required? And meaning, if we need to pick somebody's brain about how this, about some aspect of this business, if we need to reach into our network because we're trying to expand this business, we're looking for more customers. Are we already a part of a network, or do we already know people that we can talk to in order to do so? So that's where social capital comes into play. And the same people who have the intellectual capital that's required to run the business will more than likely be the people who have the social capital to run the business as well. I mean, to expand or grow the business. Like I say, this software developer, if this is an online business, then when we look at the family member who is a software developer, this person is in an organization that's for a software, like a technology related professional organization. And there are several other family members who are also in organizations such as that. So it is a high likelihood that we do have the network that we want to have in order to make this business a success, right? So, and that's another important point to make. Depending on the business that you buy, a different mix of financial, intellectual, and social capital will be required. Some businesses will require a whole bunch of financial capital, but not much social capital. Some businesses may not require a whole bunch of financial capital, but you need social capital. You need to know the right people, so on and so forth. So depending on which business you purchase, it may require a different mix of the three types of capital. But if the family has been organized and the family has been working as a unit and the family has been inventorying all of its capital, then it will be easy to know whether or not you have the requisite capital to run whatever business you find. So only after going through that inventory and confirming that we have at least the power to make this business work, only after doing that do we actually go to the next step in collecting more information. Like if the first step is if we don't have enough money, if we don't have enough knowledge and skills, if we don't have the network required to make this business a success, then we don't touch it. We find something else where we do have the right amount of money, the right amount of knowledge, and the right amount of connections to make it work. So this is a first line of defense when it comes to filtering out opportunities. Once we have found a business that we know, okay, based on our inventory of our capitals, we can buy this business, and then we move on to the next step of doing due diligence and collecting more information about that business. So one thing that I hope would be clear in all of this is, once the family has a system of doing this, that's the most important thing, having a system. And once you have the system set up, then you can do this over and over again, business after business. Like if the family has $2.4 million coming in every year, to add to the 5.3 that we already have, then like I said, there are many businesses that are out here for sale. And just we can start off with that one business for $1.1 million, and then we can move on, purchase another business for $1 million, purchase another business for $1 million, so on and so forth. And we keep doing that until we build up the family's portfolio of businesses. And this is one of the ways that we will move forward financially. But the point is, once the family is organized, and that's the hard part is getting organized. But once you are organized, everything else becomes easy. It just becomes a matter of what we do. And it's just a system. Systematically, we're doing it over and over again. Purchasing businesses, making money, then taking that money and purchasing additional businesses, making more money, then purchasing more businesses, on and on and on and on. Which is why I say, I'm not focused on building a great career. I'm not focused on building one great business. What I'm focused on is building a great family. And when you have a great family, you can build 100 great businesses. You can help your family members start 100 great careers. So that's why I focus on building a great family, and I recommend most people do that as well. All right, I think this pretty much sums up this video. But like I say, I just wanted to do a summary video to make it very clear about the importance of these other type of capitals, these other activities that we embark on. Why are we collecting a financial capital inventory? Why are we doing an inventory of our social capital and intellectual capital? Why do we care about power? We care about power because we need power in order to make our endeavors successful. And this video was just one example of what it looks like to do that. Once you have an organized family and you are building, then these same principles can apply to so many different situations. I mean, infinite amount of situations, and this is just one of them. Okay, all right, that'll be it.